Thank you, Samantha, and hello everyone. My name is Rohit Sharma, and I am a lead technical support analyst at BMC. This is my 8th year at BMC, and I work in the customer support organization supporting Truesight Server Automation. As you all know, TSSA is widely used within organizations to patch various operating systems. Today, we will talk about some best practices that can be followed to prevent any patch management issues while patching Red Hat servers via TSSA. This is our second webinar for Red Hat Patching. In the first webinar, we spoke about how to do Red Hat Patching in TSSA and shared some useful tips for troubleshooting common issues. So let us talk about the agenda. In the webinar today, we'll first talk about pre-checks before running a patch catalog update job. We will then move over to a pre-check before running a patching job. I will also walk you through the steps to troubleshoot a yum dry run error, which is the most common error in a Red Hat patching job. So the very first step in the Red Hat Patch Management in TSSA is to ensure that there is a patch catalog in place with the latest patches downloaded. Before running a catalog update job, these are the things that we should check. Storage requirements. The repository server is accessible and has enough disk space available on the server. Since we are downloading huge repositories, depending upon the patches that are being downloaded, the size would vary. For example, the size of a Red Hat 7 base channel only is close to somewhere around 60 GB. Since the patches are downloaded from Red Hat, the server should have a proper subscription attached and the entitlement certificate should be downloaded on the version. And depending upon the TSSA versions, the certificate should be imported on the console as well. We'll just talk about this in detail in a demo. Also, in case the target servers have patches installed from different child channels, those channels should be selected in the catalog update job while running it. You should contact the system administrator or server owners to understand if patches on the servers are being installed via some child channels as well. And if they are, please add the child channels in the catalog update job as well. So we will now move over to a demo where we are going to see how to verify if a server is properly registered or not. And we are going to see a new feature demo which allows us to use certificates directly from the repository server without having to import them in TSSA. So I have now logged into a TSSA console. Now let's assume if there is a patching cycle due in the next few days, the very first thing that we would do is to update a patch catalog with all the relevant child channels. Now if you are creating a catalog for the first time, depending upon the number of child channels and filters, it may take several hours. However, subsequent catalog update jobs are only downloading the newly added patches, so they are faster than when you do it for the first time. It is good to get the catalog updated at least a day before the actual patching cycle. So as you can see that I have opened a Red Hat 8 patch catalog, and this is where I have specified my repository server, and this is where I have selected my filters. So as you can see here, the channel that I have selected is Red Hat 8, and there is a child channel extra that has been added, AppStream containers. Now I would like to point here that if you are creating a Red Hat 8 patch catalog, it is mandatory to have this child channel added while creating a Red Hat 8 patch catalog, because the modular RPMs are being provided by this AppStream containers child channel, and you should add this by default before while creating a Red Hat 8 patch catalog update job. Now there is one other thing that I would like to point here is that even though you can create a Red Hat 8 patch catalog using a Red Hat 7 repository server as well, it is a general recommendation from Red Hat that you should only use Red Hat 8 patch repository server while you are downloading Red Hat 8 patches. Similarly, if you are using Red Hat 7, if you want to create a Red Hat 7 patch catalog, it is important that you use a Red Hat 7 patch repository server as well. This is a general recommendation from Red Hat. Even though if you use a Red Hat 8 repository server and download Red Hat 7 patches on that server, it would work. However, the opposite, which is if you download a Redhat 8, if you download the Redhat 8 patches on a Redhat 7 repository server, the catalog would be updated properly, but you will see issues while running the patch analysis job because the modular metadata is not populated properly. Hence, just for Redhat 8 patch catalog update job, we recommend to use the Redhat 8 patch repository server, and it is important to note that you should have this particular child channel added here as well. Now you can see here that the repository server that I have selected, it is rh8_1.webinar. So let's first verify if the server is actually accessible. So I'll just do a right click, run custom command and do a agent information. So this is going to connect to the target and run an agent info command. So as you can see, the agent info command is successful. So this means that the repository server is accessible via TSSA and it is mapped to the root user. We need the mapping to the root user because the commands that we are running to download patches requires root user privileges. So let's go back to the patch catalog again. Now I would also like to point out about this feature here, use certificates from repository server. This is a new feature that we have added in TSSA 21.3, wherein when you are registering a servers and entitlement certificates are downloaded, the catalog update job would pick the entitlement certificates directly from the default location from the target server. So if you use this option, you do not need to import any certificates in TSSA. Now, if you are using a version that is less than TSSA 21.3, then you'll have to go to configuration and patch global configuration, the Redhat tab, subscription certs, and you'll have to import the certs here. But this is only true for the versions that are less than TSSA 21.3. Now there were scenarios in the past where if the certificates were imported in TSSA, Redhat would often revoke those certificates and the catalog update job would fail because the certificates that were imported there were not latest. And that is why we have enhanced this feature in TSSA 21.3 where we have provided this option here where you can just check this use certificates from repository server option, and while running the catalog update job, the latest certificates would be picked directly from the patch repository server. So let us now log in to the repository server. So this is my repo server and I have already executed df-kh here, as you can see. So this is, I have enough disk space here. I've already updated the patch catalog. The other thing that I would do is I would run the subscription manager space status. This is going to tell me if my the server is registered properly or not. If you see here, the overall status is current. So this means that my server is registered properly. Now the entitled certificates, when you download, register the server, they are on etc pki entitlement, and this is where the certificates are. The other certificates, that the SSLCA certificate, is inside etc RHSM and CA. So this certificate is already present on the servers. It is the redhat-uep.pem. So whenever you provision a Red Hat machine, the certificate is already there. The entitlement certificates, the ones that are here, they are downloaded when you register the server to Red Hat. So the next step in TSSA patch management is creating a patching job. The patching job would comprise of patch analysis, which determines the missing patches on the server, and patch remediation, which creates and executes the patch deploy job, which would actually install missing patches on target machine. Now, before running a patching job against target servers, please ensure that the target server has enough free disk space in the staging area to host missing patches temporarily while they are getting installed. Also ensure that there is enough free space on OS file systems like //var and /boot, because those are the file systems which are utilized by the OS during the patching. The TSSA file server should have free disk space as well. The reason why this is important is because when the TSSA patch remediation job is creating BL packages with missing patches, the metadata of those BL packages is stored on the file server. And even though it is just few MBs, if the TSSA file server is out of disk space, the patching jobs would fail. BMC recommends to always monitor your core TSSA infra, such as application servers, the TSSA file server, and the database server, to ensure that they are not running out of resources such as memory, CPU, or disk space. Talking about the permissions, the TSSA patching jobs run scripts on target servers from staging directory to perform various actions, and hence the staging area should have executable permissions, and the file system that holds the staging folder should not have actually a no exec set. Coming to the user mapping, we all know that patching is an administrative activity, and hence the TSSA user and role running the job should be mapped to a root user on target server. It is important to check the locale on target servers as well, because TSSA requires the locale on the operating system to be set to English in order to display missing patches. And if the locale on the server is not English, we need to ensure that RSCD is configured in a way so that any logs that are being logged by the patching jobs are in English. We'll talk about that in a demo. Also, there are few job options I will talk in the demo which can be checked to ensure that the patching jobs run smoothly. We will now see a small demo where I will talk about the checks that are needed to be performed before running a patching job. You can then use those checks to create a component template to run a compliance job against multiple servers and ensure that they are patch ready. I will share the link to a YouTube playlist on TSSA channel which talks about creating various type of compliance jobs. So I have now logged in to the console. As discussed earlier, the agent info command can be used to verify the connectivity and the user mapping. If you can see at the bottom left hand side here, the staging area is identified by staging_dir property being set on server properties. And this property can be used to identify free disk space and executable permission on the staging folder. So this is the property that I was talking about. So let's log into a target server. Now you can run the df-kh on the staging area, which is var temp stage in my case, to identify the free disk space. Now you can run the mount command and you can ensure that the file system that is holding the staging area does not have a no exec set. Now in this case, the file system that holds var temp stage is slash, and slash is usually not no exec. If we can see here, this is how you can verify that a no exec is not set here. So whatever file system that you have used for your staging directory, it should not have a no exec set. Now a locale command is used to identify the language set on the OS. So let's just see that. I'll just run a locale command here, and this is the language that is set on the operating system, which actually is French here. Now as I said earlier, you do not need to change the language of the operating system for patching to work. All you need to do is, there is this RSCD startup script. So all you have to do is add the language parameter to an English locale here and restart the RSCD services for the changes to take effect. And that's it. You do not need to change the locale of the operating system to make the patching work. You can just change the RSCD startup script to make sure that the RSCD logs are logged in English, and that's all. Now we have talked about these steps in detail in one of our YouTube videos and knowledge article. I'll share the link at the end of the webinar. Now I would also like to talk about few of the job options that we have introduced in TSSA 21.3, especially for Redhat patching. Now, while creating and modifying Redhat patching jobs, you can perform an analysis only for those RPMs that are flagged as security updates. So this is the new option. Now the new option, security mode, analyze for security updates available for installed RPMs on target servers for performing patch analysis, is available for Red Hat Linux version 7 and version 8 from TSSA 21.3 onwards. I would also like to point out that if you are using include lists in patching job, BMC recommends that you use a small include list, because if you are using include lists that have thousands of RPMs, the performance of the patch analysis job is severely impacted. Now there are these options here, by package name only and by complete package name, and the recommended option to use when you are using an include list is by package name only. In 21.3 this is a default option. Now I will share the link of a KA and a short video as well, which talks about these options in details at the end of the webinar. So let us now see how to troubleshoot yum dry run errors in a Redhat patching jobs in TSSA. This is one of the most common errors that we get during a patch analysis job, and let's see how to troubleshoot it. So I have now logged into the console and I see that a patch analysis job has failed here against the target rh7_4.webinar. So let's see the log here. I'll do a show log, browse to the server name, and I see that the error indicates yum dry run failed. For more details, please execute the job in debug mode and check the yum.err.log, and then there is a package name here. Now this error here does not tell us a lot about what has gone wrong. Now in such scenarios, what I usually do is I collect a log package. So the log package contains the debug log of the yum command that has been executed in this scenario. So it is the debug of the yum output that was executed to run this analysis. So the way to get a log package is you do a right click on the run here and do a download log package. It will ask you for a location where you want to save it. Just give a name here, save it, and then it will ask you for the target name. Just select the target name and hit OK. Now it might take a couple of minutes for this to download, so in the interest of time I've already downloaded it. So I'll hit cancel here and I'll go to the log package directly. So the log package will be downloaded as a zip file, and if you extract it, these are the contents of the log package. It has RCD logs, it has the app server status report, it has the app server logs from all the application servers, it has the job run log and a snippet of the job run from all the application servers. And at the end there is this patch support zip, which actually contains the patching debug logs, which in this case are the yum logs. So I've already extracted it. It is the server name here, and these are the logs that we are concerned about. So there are two logs which I usually check, which are very helpful in troubleshooting these errors, which is yum_analysis.res file and the yum.err file. Now let's check the yum_analysis.res file. So if you see this file, it contains the result of the yum command that was executed, which is similar to yum update. And if you check this output here as well, it is somewhat similar to what yum update would print when you run a yum update directly from the operating system. So it is a lot of details and it has a lot of information. It has information about the errors, but there are other things as well. And then there is yum.err.log, which just contains the error. So we'll just talk about the yum.err.log, because in this scenario it can be very helpful, especially when we are troubleshooting the yum dry run failed errors. So if you see here, the error indicates that there is this package net-snmp-sysvinit, and this is the version of the patch, and it requires net-snmp. Now if you see at the end of this on line number 1, there is a repository name at the end at the rate, and this is the repository name. So this in case is the repository from which this patch was downloaded. Now this is, if you see pun-rel-7, it's the repository name of BMC's local repository. So this patch was downloaded, it actually installed from this repository. And if you see on line number 3 as well, the same patch net-snmp with this version was also downloaded and installed from this repository. Now there are some other patches here as well, like this one on line number 5. net-snmp, and it has a repo at the end. So the patches which has the repository name at the end, those patches are usually installed on the operating system. And the patches that have repo at the end, so those are the patches which yum is checking for an update. Now if you see for net-snmp, the version is 5.7.2-49 and el7_9.1, and it is updated by net-snmp 5.7.2-49.el7_9.2. So this patch on line number 5 is actually an updated version of this patch. So yum is trying to update the patch, the net-snmp on line number 3 to this, and it then lists down all the releases that are available. So it would just list down all the versions of net-snmp that are present in the repository. But what we are concerned about here is that 9.1 is getting updated to 9.2, and net-snmp-sysvinit is complaining about this update. So we'll just talk about that in a bit. Why is this happening? So let's see if there are some other patches at the in the error as well. So if you scroll down, you'll see the same behavior. There's a net-snmp-perl which requires the same version of net-snmp 7_9.1, and it is the net-snmp, it is getting updated from 7_9.1 to 7_9.2, and net-snmp-perl is complaining about this upgrade. And yeah, let's scroll down a bit as well, and we see the same behavior with net-snmp-devel. So all these patches are complaining about the upgrade of net-snmp patch. So let's just go to the server here and see what are the patches that are installed on the server. So I have now logged into the server. Now let's see net-snmp. So there are a lot of patches that are installed for net-snmp. We see that there is a net-snmp-sysvinit. This is the patch here. This is 7_9.1. And then there is this net-snmp-perl as well, which was one of the patches that were also complaining in the error. And then there was this net-snmp-devel as well. So if you see, and then there's the actual patch net-snmp as well. Now if you see here, you'd notice that the versions of all these patches are same. It is 5.7.2-49 and el7_9.1, and for all the patches, this is the all the patches have the same version. Now I'll just go back to the error once again because I just want to show you this. So this net-snmp-sysvinit, this is the version that is already installed on the server, 9.1, and it is complaining about the upgrade of this patch. So why would this patch complain about another patch getting upgraded? So in Red Hat, this could happen due to if some patch has a dependency on some of the other patches. Now let's see how to figure that out. So if we have this, let's say the sysvinit, let's take this package. So if I run rpm-q R and then the patch name, it would list down the dependencies of this patch or the patches that it requires. So if I go to the bottom here on the output, I see that net-snmp-sysvinit 7_9.1, it requires net-snmp 7_9.1. So which is this dependency has been is met here. That is why the patch is actually installed. Now if I see the same thing for the Perl patch as well, we can see that okay, it is a huge output. I'll just quickly grab net-snmp. So this is the output. And if you see here, the net-snmp-perl requires this patch as well. So we identify for all the patches that that are there in the errors, this net-snmp is actually one of the dependencies which we can see uh, from this output as well. So if you go to this here as well, you see net-snmp -sysvinit is complaining about the update of this patch because the 9.1 version of snmp-sysvinit requires the 9.1 version of net-snmp patch. So if you update this patch would be orphan, which is not good in terms of the RPM installed or the patch installed. So that's why it is not allowing that upgrade. Now, the obvious question in such scenarios is that, I mean, why can't you update this patch? If this patch has this dependency and yum is trying to update net-snmp, why isn't yum upgrading net-snmp-sysvinit as well? Because that is the obvious course of action. So let us then see, what we'll have to do is that I'll check a couple of things here. If there is, when we are creating a patch analysis job, because this yum command is being executed via TSSA patch analysis job. So the first thing that I'll see here is that if there is an exclude list in the patching job which contains this patch net-snmp-sysvinit, because if there was an exclude list, it would it would not allow yum to update this. You would have specified to not to exclude the upgrade of this particular patch. So the first thing that I'll do is I'll check if there is an exclude list. So I'll just go to the console. I'll just open the patching job, go to the analysis options, and this is what I'm going to see. So there is no exclude list here. The other thing that I'll do after checking the exclude list is if the patch is actually present in the catalog in the catalog or not. So let's see what is the catalog that is being selected here. So it's Depot Webinar Patch Catalog and Redhat 7 here. So I'll just go to the patch catalog here, patch catalog and Redhat, and this is the catalog that I have selected here. Yeah. So let's just quickly see in RPMs if let's just first check for net-snmp if this patch is there in the catalog or not in the exclude list, but in the RPM smart group if the net-snmp patch is present or not. Now if I expand this, I see that there are a lot of net-snmp patches there, and the patch in question 7_9.2, if you see at the bottom, this patch is also present. Now let's check for net-snmp-sysvinit if that patch is present on the server or not. No, it's not there. So net-snmp, the patch that is installed on the server, and an update of that particular RPM is present on the server in the catalog, but an update of net-snmp-sysvinit which needs net-snmp is not present in the catalog. So that is why when we are running a patch analysis job, TSSA is trying to upgrade net-snmp, but since this patch is not present in the catalog, we are not updating it, and hence it is complaining that the dependencies will not be met if you update this particular patch, and hence we see this error. So if you notice that this error is due to the fact that there is a certain patch which is not present in the patch catalog. Now why is it not present in the patch catalog? The first question that anyone would ask is, so because when we are creating a patch catalog in TSSA, we are selecting the filters. So you remember when I was talking about patch catalogs, the thing to check while updating a patch catalog update job is what are the child channels that you want, what are the different patches that are installed on your server, and are those patches installed from some child channel or not? Because if they are, then you'll need to add those child channels there while updating the patch catalog. Now if I see here, this patch catalog, it doesn't have any child channel. It has just Red Hat Enterprise Linux server, and it has no child channel here. So that is why we are kind of not updating this particular patch, because it is not present in the catalog. So what we'll do in this scenario is we'll identify what is the child channel which provides this net-snmp-sysvinit, and we'll add that child channel in the patch catalog. So whenever there is such situation, the only thing that I refer to, I usually go to the Red Hat site for this for Red Hat 7. I mean the operating system in this case is Red Hat 7, so I go to the repository of Red Hat 7 and I search for the patch. So this is actually the page that I go to. You go to access.redhat.com, you search for Red Hat 7, and this is where all the patches, the information about all the patches is listed, and then you'll just have to search for this patch. So if I search for this patch net-snmp-sysvinit here, now if you see net-snmp-sysvinit is, this is legacy sysvinit script for net-snmp daemons, and it is actually a part of Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 server -optional RPMs. So this is the child channel which gives you this particular RPM. Now if you notice in the yum.err.log, there were couple of other patches as well. This is the one, net-snmp-perl. Let's see if this is a part of the channel or not. Yeah, if you see here, yeah, so we have identified the child channel which provides these problematic patches. So now what we'll do is we'll just have to add the child channel. There is this list here using which you can add the child channels. So this is the optional RPMs. Click on this plus sign, hit OK, save it and rerun the catalog update job, and it is going to download it. Now a catalog update job can take a lot of time, so I've already created a patch catalog with this particular child channel. You see that this optional RPMs are listed here, and so if you run a patch analysis job using this particular patch catalog, which I have already executed, I'll quickly show you the results of that particular job as well. Just give me a moment. Yeah, this is the job, patch analysis job. If I do a show results, let's open the job and see the patch catalog as well. Now if you see here, the catalog that I've specified is Red Hat 7 with child channel, and if I go to the patch analysis results, it was executed against the same target here, and I would see all the net-snmp patches here as well. Let's just quickly expand this. So you see here net-snmp-perl 9.2 version, sysvinit 9.2 version, and net-snmp 9.2 version is being reported as missing. So since all the three patches are getting updated simultaneously, so the patch analysis job is getting successful, and that is how we are seeing that it is displaying all the missing patches. Now let's just go back to the yum.err.log once again and just quickly read it, because now we know the context, so it is just slightly easier for us to talk about the error once again. So it says that package net-snmp-sysvinit, and this means that this patch is actually installed on the server, requires net-snmp. This is again the version of the patch that is installed on the server, because in the second line we are seeing removing net-snmp and the version 9.1, because it has the repository name in front of it. So the sysvinit patch requires net-snmp, and since the net-snmp patch is getting updated to a greater version, so the repo at the end indicates that we are trying to upgrade it from 9.1 to 9.2. So net-snmp-sysvinit is kind of blocking this upgrade. So this brings us to the end of the webinar. To summarize, we spoke about the pre-checks that can be performed before running Redhat Patch Catalog Update and Redhat patching jobs in TSSA. We also spoke about how to troubleshoot yum dry run errors. Here are the links to some of the videos and documentations of some of the topics that I referred during the webinar today.